blockade. The message is clear. The Nox event is contained. I repeat, the Nox event is contained.
Maybe it's because zombies are somewhat becoming popular again with The Last of Us show on HBO, but for some reason I was just really itching to play some sort of zombie apocalypse survival sim. I've dabbled in DayZ from time to time, but that game has been in development for over 10 years and is still a clunky piece of garbage.
Okay. I can't aim my fucking gun.
No offense to the fans of DayZ out there, but it's just really not my thing, and I've tried many times to get into it. So one day I was melting my last remaining brain cells on TikTok when I kept getting videos of this game that looked like a cross between The Sims and DayZ. Come to find out, this game is called Project Zomboid, and after a quick $13 purchase on Steam, I would be downloading what I didn't realize is the best zombie sim on the market. But before I tell you why I think Project Zomboid is so amazing, I think we should go back to the creation of the game to better understand how it came to be. Project Zomboid started development all the way back in 2010. The Walking Dead was just grabbing everyone's attention, and Call of Duty Zombies was at an all-time peak. So was the zombie genre. The game was being developed by Indie Stone, an indie game company out of Gateshead in the UK, and was originally released as a tech demo along some of the other games that the studio themselves didn't really seem to care about. The main focus of this demo seemed to be on Project Zomboid, a game that was more inspired by zombie movies than zombie games. They tried to move away from the Left 4 Deads and COD Zombies where you just shoot your way out of every situation you're in, and wanted to focus on a more grounded and realistic survival take. The developers were heavily inspired by the 2004 film Dawn of the Dead by George A. Romero, and despite their neighbors actually staging a car bombing and making it so the development team didn't have access to the computers during the initial launch days of the game, it seemed that Project Zomboid was doing pretty well, already gathering some watchful eyes. It wasn't until major cracked versions of the demo started circulating. The big issue with this cracked version is that it was connected to the Indie Stone servers, meaning that pirates could update the game whenever they wanted and were literally stealing the game files from the hands of the developers. So Indie Stone did what they could and took the servers down for a bit. Zomboid wouldn't stop there because they decided to upload the demo again, this time for free. Zomboid would run into more trouble on October 15, 2011 when the apartment of the two head developers was broken into and their laptops were stolen. On those laptops was the very source code of the game, so this would cause some huge setbacks for the team. Jokingly, they would later give a presentation at a UK game show titled How Not to Make a Video Game, where they kind of goof on themselves and they discuss all the shakeups they had trying to develop it. The history after this is mostly unknown. The game would continue to get development and would get a Steam early access on November 8th in 2013. After that, the game would continue to get the love it deserves up until today, and it still gets tons and tons of updates that improve the quality of life and the game itself. The multiplayer update was probably one of the biggest ones, allowing people to really live out their zombie apocalypse role-playing dreams. No! And overall, due to its popularity on the internet recently and clips on TikTok becoming a little bit more viral, the game has started to grow in popularity a huge amount. I mean, even I'm in on it, you know? So here's how I realized that this isn't just one of my favorite games, but one of the best immersive zombie games I've ever played. Project Zomboid, on its surface level, may seem like any other low-res indie/survival game, but underneath its top-down Sims-like perspective and low poly count, it's some of the deepest, most realistic survival gameplay I've ever played. When you load into Project Zomboid, the first thing you have to do is create a character. This aspect of the game is incredibly cool and important to show how your next couple of minutes, hours, or days of survival will be. Zomboid uses a traits and points system at the beginning to allow the player to choose what their survivor might have lived like before the apocalypse. The traits in Project Zomboid reflect skills players will use in the game to survive everything from cooking to long blunt weapon skill. It's all at play here. There's mechanics, there's carpentry. So while you're creating your character, you might want to focus on giving them a head start with shooting or reloading if you know you're going to want to go with a more shooting based playstyle. Or if you just want to build a compound, you might go with a carpentry based player. All of this is calculated by skills and debuffs that you'll have to choose. So the first step is to choose a profession, and after that you'll see a points total that reflects how many debuffs you have to choose or how many skills you can get. Say you have -9 points left, you might have to make your character a smoker, and being a smoker makes your character need a constant supply of cigarettes in order to not feel anxious. points. Skills, on the other hand, will be worth negative points, so you have to balance out your total in order to play the game. Long story short, the character customization ties hand in hand with the gameplay you experience, and it all adds a huge layer of immersion to the game. Once you finally get into the game, and if you're like me, you'll probably spend the next few hours dying over and over again because you're getting overran with zombies, and this is where, the big change really is shown. In a normal zombie game, you just shoot your way out. In Zomboid, zombies are scary as hell. In the game, zombies are seen to be more avoided unless you have the proper equipment to deal with them. Bites in Zomboid are just like in the movies and are an instant death sentence, and anytime you have a run-in with a zombie, you have a pretty good chance of getting bit. Sometimes you can get away with a scratch, and even scratches have a big chance of infecting you. Once you're bit, you have two options. Try some stuff and set some stuff aside for your next character, or choose to take matters into your own hands and end your story off there. This makes zombie combat terrifying because you have to be incredibly careful. Another thing that Zomboid does that I've never seen in a game like this before is the way you see. Because Zomboid is top down, it wouldn't be that scary if you could see all around your character, but in Zomboid you can only see where your character is facing, giving you a realistic sightline for how you would see. This means that if you aren't checking your back or scanning areas, you could easily get run up on. And because you have this FOV vision, it makes it so much more scary. The crafting, looting, and healing mechanics of the game are just amazing as well. Say you get shot in the chest, you got to perform some surgery on yourself, of course, now, and you got to pull that bullet out and stitch the wound. You get cut on a rusty fence, you have to disinfect the wound and wrap it with a bandage. Oh, you don't have a bandage? Well, you can use the clothes that you find on zombies or around and rip them up into sheets to help you bandage yourself. Say you find a car, well, that car needs new brakes, a new hood, a new battery, and it's missing all of its windshields. You can scour the map and take parts from other cars to fix your own, and even siphon gas from those cars, all to make the ultimate apocalypse road tripper. Oh, cooking? There are hundreds of food recipes and ingredients that make the cooking in the game feel like a game of its own. Using ovens and sinks and microwaves and fridges all work like it would work in real life. Just to be sure you have your generator up, because you're going to need to be able to power all of that. Because if you run out of gas, your food will go rotten. Crafting weapons is also so much fun and so intuitive. Often I'll find myself making a spear and then duct taping a screwdriver to it to make the ultimate zombie poker. You can pretty much do anything because the developers have spent 10 years putting all of these little details into the game. If there's something in the game that you want that isn't there, you can add it with mods. The community workshop support for this game is some of the best on Steam. Say you want your character to be able to grow his or herself some weed. Well, there's a mod for that. Any situation you want to make happen in the game can all happen with mods. My favorite part of Zomboid is probably the multiplayer though. So many servers exist with so many different play styles. If you want a PvE hardcore text-based role-playing server, that is a tongue twister, oh my god. You want like an all-out anarchy server where anything goes, you got it. My favorite server though is the Last of Us server. It is a PvP semi roleplay based server with so many cool mods on it and makes Zomboid a whole other new thing. I'm a huge fan of The Last of Us, so I was looking for a server where I could live out my dreams of fighting clickers and hiding from Fedra, and this server is really something else. The head admin is a totally awesome guy, and he made the ultimate Project Zomboid Last of Us experience. The zombies make Last of Us noises, they look like the infected from the game, and now with mods, there is an intricate radio system where players can search for each other through different radio frequencies. And there are huge factions based on the ones from the game that are constantly stealing and at war with each other. I won't say what faction I'm in, just because if you guys decide to join, which I highly suggest you do, I'll put all of the server info in the description, so please join, come check it out if you have Zomboid already. But we've had days-long beefs with other factions that have ended in all-out war. One day we might hear someone on our secret frequency and turns out they've been listening to all of our conversations, and this leads to us having to panic and switch all of our factions' radio frequencies in order to not be spied on. Stuff like this is straight out of a movie and is now possible thanks to Project Zomboid. Long story short, all of these gameplay elements tied into multiplayer PvP role-playing makes for some of the most fun I've had in a video game. Project Zomboid, unlike DayZ, has an incredible development team behind it that really cares about making the best game possible. The game has undergone constant changes while DayZ is the same game it was almost 10 years ago. It's immersive, it's challenging, it's fun, and most importantly, you get to live out that zombie apocalypse fantasy you've always wanted to. Thank you guys for watching this video. I haven't done a gaming video since the Ratatouille gaming video, so guys, I hope you appreciate this. I feel like this ties in the horror community and the video gaming community pretty well, so you know, if you're a part of that, you know, maybe you'll find this video interesting. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please go check out that Last of Us server. It is really fun. If you want to come and have some fun, come and join in. It is pretty much a 24/7 crazy world out there. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. We are very close to 4,000 subscribers, so if we can get to 4K, that would be my dream. Thank you guys. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Peace.
Gas, gas, gas.